Here we are on a fresh, misty, rainy day at Moirs Garden. This is take 3. Stop laughing, Tina. I have done this a few times, and I'm not a computer techie person, and so hopefully this one is it. They say three times is what? 3 the lucky charm or whatever. Anyway, here we are at Moirs Garden, where it officially actually starts. Audrey had told me coming into this space is it. So just to give you some markers here, up there is Hawthorne Street. I just came from Prince Albert Street, and on the other side is Ochterlony Street, in the downtown heart of Dartmouth at Sullivan's Pond. And if I tend to fan fast, it will be because a private citizen is coming, and we're all about letting people enjoy the peacefulness of the garden in privacy. So here we are. I wanted to just take you through a virtual viewing, or a visit if you will, because I don't think I do it justice, and sometimes I think the pictures are so myopic on a particular plant or area that you can't see the full scope. So hopefully this will show people why we so thoroughly enjoy coming down here to work. But I don't know if it's called work. I think we all enjoy doing what we do here, a labor of love for everybody to benefit from. So you'll see we have quite a hostas flatbed here, and this is, I've made this distinction in meetings where we have some people that can work on the flatbeds and some people who prefer the slopes. Again, you work at your ability and what your comfort zone is. So I do talk about the slopes. Some of them do get a little bit sloping, I'm going to show you, but I didn't want to scare people into thinking there isn't anything for anybody else to do. So this is like one of the flatbeds that I had mentioned, and I'll just put on the slant. It goes way down. And we had just dug out all these bricks. Now, Yogi and Marlene, I think they thought I finally lost it when I told them there's all kinds of bricks under this soil. I've been coming here since I was 15, so I knew they were there. And I had already started the dig, and this was a project that was on my to-do list, and it finally got done. Just a very informal edging, if you will, a very textiled edging for the hostas bed, just to give it some tidiness. But over on the other side we have what we're calling the rewilding. We're not really too concerned at this garden about tight edging and finishes. We want to enhance what's already here and make it as natural and rewilding as possible, with of course the usual grooming and tidying up that we have to do. So I'm just going to take you for a little walk through here. Here's one of the projects we did this week. We had to get rid of the overgrowth on the stones, because this is exactly where the hornets love to live. So you'll see different gardeners have different techniques. Jane and I were working here with Paris, and I needed the clippers because I wanted to cut it like you're cutting hair. And Jane was like, no, just rip it off. And I couldn't. I had to keep apologizing to it. So we all have our different ways that we approach gardens and how to do things, which we all can laugh at as well. If we can't laugh at ourselves, we can't laugh at others. But we definitely all come to the garden with our own toolbox of experiences and skill set and how we do things. But at the end of the day, it is to make it safe and beautiful for everybody to enjoy. So we do still have some grooming to do in here, just some light combing and some weeding and things like that in this particular side of things. So I'll just give you a little shot of that. And then we're coming down to this table. We had a picnic table here that actually literally fell apart. It had been here for so long. So I asked the new HRM, Jane, she's awesome, if we can have another picnic table, where they're really trying to keep the tables on one side of the park. So she gave us this instead. So that was a perfect compromise. We see people doing their homework here, playing chess here, and sometimes eating here. So we're just moving along here. This is another part. I just see Perry, she did an awesome job there. So this is a part where we actually do probably 50% perennial, 50% annual. It's not really a math, it just seems to turn out that way. And this is the most visual part when people come to take their pictures, is this space here. I'm going to do a little bit of a radius here. And of course it's always important to have some color here. We have our Japanese maple up there in the back. Look how green it is. How can you ever feel grumpy coming in here? And if you do, you're not going to feel grumpy by the time you leave. So it's one of those wonderful parks. Let me do a panoramic for you as well of Sullivan's Pond. It's just absolutely beautiful. Look at the water fountain. And these two structures here are supposedly related to one of the historical dams that was here. And that's an ecosystem for the muskrats. And I've sent pictures along to Tina. There was a new turtle here. Nobody has ever seen him before, ever, a turtle in here, just sitting on that rock sun tanning. So we're just moving it along into Moirs Garden, just showing you the differences here on the work that's been done. And as you see, the green, it's just so beautiful. Of course, if you have any transplants when you're doing your own garden, if you want to drop them off, we're more than happy to take them and plant them for you if you can't stay. But again, just showing the different opportunities, the flatbeds here. Now this used to be called the butterfly garden. There was actually a stick that said that, but that went missing last year, as some of the things go missing around here, oddly enough. But just again, another panoramic back at the hostas where we just came from. So even if you feel that you can't be here for very long, we get a lot of work done. Even if you can only come down for an hour, there's a lot that can be done in an hour. If you prefer weeding, you prefer raking, there's always something to do. We all have our preferences. And then there's always those chores we don't really like to do, but they have to be done. Like last year, a couple of us went through here and cleaned all the vines. You couldn't even see the logs anymore. This beautiful pathway because it was covered with vines. But it was just to tidy it up, and of course we'll do that again probably in another 10 years. But I want to talk about this structure here. It's called the Three Princesses is what I called it. I've been coming to Moirs Garden since I was 15, and I always used to touch them before I walked into this magical pathway. Just want to show you it. Just the earth's natural beauty in here, just doing its own thing. You can't help but feel comfortable. And of course, if you come and you get a bit winded or get heated, come in and pull up a chair. There's all kinds here. And just hide in the shade, the natural protection of the trees. But you see all the beautiful, healthy green. And of course, in the spring, we're going to be thinning out some of these hostas. As you see, they're getting quite congested. So probably if you need anything by spring, let us know so that we can take them out for you and leave them at the top of this stairs. Now, this is the stairs that HRM put in that allows people to get right down. We'll do a little back view here again, where we just came from. And we've got a lot of visitors that come here on the regular with their dogs daily, a few times a day. A lot of people taking pictures of the gardens, not just for graduations or marriages. I'm just trying to keep the camera down because there's a few people around here. So I just want to give you this panoramic of up here. So this one's probably the slopiest of the slopes. And yes, I even fell down yesterday because of the beautiful rains we had the night before. I went halfway down the hill and you hit that muddy spot. So I don't recommend it for everybody. So this is one I don't recommend for people who have concerns about balance or knee or hip, things like that. And then we get over to a more gentle slope. So like I said, there's something for everybody here. But we wanted to be honest about the types of slopes that are here. And most people only see this part of the garden. And it could be intimidating for a gardener that goes, oh my gosh, I can't get in there. I'm afraid I'll slide down the slope. But as you've seen, there's all kinds of flatbeds. And we're just coming up to the namesake of this garden, the Moirs Garden of Lorne and Audrey Moir. Here we are. Of course, we have to give that a trim. It grows so fast. The Moirs Garden, 2009. There we go. So this is where we're at. Hope you enjoyed our virtual visit today. Hope to see you either as a guest or as a gardener. I mean, if you're going to come down and visit, you may as well bring your garden gear, right? So this is Gaheel signing off. We don't have any garden elves here today, but hopefully we'll do one of these a month because we know gardens change from week to week, day to day. So we just want to give you this just to give you an idea how beautiful it is. You can't help but walk out of here feeling peaceful. So thank you for joining us here today, and hope to see you soon.